Now, in related developments, bandits have abducted at least 20 people, mostly young girls and women, in the Moriki town of Zurmi local government area of Zamfara state. A resident of Moriki, Zamfara Moriki, said that the victims were abducted on Saturday while fetching firewood on the outskirts of the town. It was gathered that the abduction happened on Saturday as the victims went to fetch firewood at the outskirts of the town when they were kidnapped by the armed group. The conflict is worsening a malnutrition crisis in the northwest as attacks drive people away from their farms, in a situation that has been complicated by climate change and Western aid cuts. Now, to discuss these security breaches, we are joined by the National Security Analyst, Dennis Amachree. You're welcome, sir.
Good evening. It's Amachree.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Mr. Amachree. Now, just very quickly, what are the systematic failings and, of course, the prosecutional and intelligence that allows such an organizational attack to be detected?
Thank you very much. I think, like I always say, this is sounding like a broken record because it continues and continues all over again. The attack in Borno State, in Zamfara, and then, of course, there is another report I just read about Nasarawa, where the Federal University was attacked, and the girls were raped, and, a lot of things happened there. What is happening is because, these are safe school initiative, community engagements and stuff like that are not being pursued to the end. Because normally, the procedure will be when things like this happen, we have the governor of the state or people from Abuja will come in and, talk to the people, and then they go away. And you find out that this situation continues. I think there has to be a concerted effort in trying to deal with it, because a lot of people are displaced, and we cannot continue to, deal with it by either pointing fingers or who did it or who didn't do
it. Right. Thank you. And just very quickly, can you just give us a little bit of insight on how effectively should local vigilantes coordinate with the military, the police, and the DSS in identifying and prosecuting repeat offenders?
You see, the thing is that the vigilantes are operating on their own. And what it was meant to be was for these vigilantes to be working with a government security agency, either with the police or the DSS, and they should be able to give information, because they are not supposed to engage. The kind of weaponry that they have does not prepare them to engage properly. So they should do that, but we discover that this is not happening. The case in Zamfara, for instance, you remember the police spokesman came out and said that he's not aware. He's not aware about the attacks. That is very, very disappointing, because he is the one that should even be hearing from these vigilantes before anybody else. So it shows that there is no coordinated effort. And I think it is better that we coordinate ourselves better, to deal with this.
All right. Thank you. I think in terms of coordination, I think one question that I really want to ask is, do the current states and federal laws adequately cover the financing and the logistics of banditry, or are there prosecutional gaps that need urgent reform?
I think the governors have a lot to do. The governors have a lot to do. They are looking at the federal government. Everybody's looking at the federal government now. Anything happens, and then they look at the federal government. The states have a lot to do. And forget about this story about I am not the chief security officer of the state. that is not tenable anymore, because the governor knows that he has at his disposal the police, he has the DSS, even the army commanders that are in the states are under him. And they should, own up and then, of course, have regular meetings with them, rub minds with them, and then let them go. And let him not say that he doesn't have funds, because all the security votes that governors have been having, I think this is the time for them to bring it out to be used, because they've been pocketing it as their pocket money. I think this is the time for them to bring it out for use, and then it could go a long way in financing those people, even buying new weapons for the vigilantes.
All right. And I think just quickly, before I let you go, I think in terms of security, are these people still going to remain in their communities and homes, knowing fully well that protection is not guaranteed for them?
Well, they are Nigerians. There is no way you have to leave your house and start running away. And that's why it has been suggested in many different fora that I think the communities themselves should start organizing themselves, ask the government security agencies to help. They can help them in giving them some kind of weaponry, and then, of course, some kind of training, so that they can protect themselves. But the country is so large that we know in far-flung areas, some of them don't even see the presence of law enforcement, for months. So I think we have to re-strategize, because this thing will continue to happen, and we will keep on looking for who to blame.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Dennis. I'm going to have to let you go, but thank you so much for the details.
Thank you very much for having me.